Time to start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take this time to welcome everyone to the meeting tonight. And we'll start out by looking at the claims from November 8th of 2024 to December 5th of 2024. I'll give you a second to look through them and then we'll... There he is. Okay. Are we ready to entertain the idea of a motion?
Make a motion.
Jeanette,
I second.
all in favor?
I said it's already spent money. So.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Now we can say.
Because that was November and December that we just approved. Okay. Okay, I just want to remind you that whenever you have the floor, we prefer it to be 5 minutes or so, you know. And the first, we'll have we're going to have the water and sewage report from Quentin
Well.
Foreman.
Before we get the minutes.
Oh, we have, I entertain a motion that we approve the November minutes, is that what we're? Okay, sorry,
It's okay.
I'm excited.
I'll second the motion.
Nobody made one.
Nobody made it first,
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion's carried. Okay, now we got our minutes out. Now are we ready for our speakers?
Yeah.
Okay, under the water and sewage update, we'll have Quentin Foreman.
Yes, sir. Can we stand up or am I good? I don't want
It's
to block
up
the
to you.
camera or nothing.
You're
I
fine.
need to come on. Okay.
First of all, appreciate you guys' confidence in me. With Bruce being gone and everything, it's been a lot for me to really soak in. But I've been running with it. I've been enjoying it, really, working with Doug and Mike Stuckey and really digging into it. So I'm still learning the systems and everything. I'm still learning a lot of the terminology of it. I have gotten a good eye on what's going on around town the last couple of weeks working with Doug. I know there's a few small stuff that needs taken care of as far as maintenance here and there come springtime for the inspections and everything. To be honest.
Possibly.
We did just have to call Cooley. We have a leak on the main coming out of the well, where the phosphate gets injected into it. they're gonna come in, I think either the end of this week or beginning of next week, they're gonna meet with me, go over the work and everything, and get it approved. Some of the stuff that we would like later on, or I don't know the process or anything, some of the equipment that we could have repaired, this leak ourselves, as far as like the, got me on the spot, can't think of the name of it, confined spaces, monitors and stuff like that. We've already got half the gear as far as the winch and the safety harness and stuff like that, but the additional safety equipment that got denied, for the last budget really would have helped us out.
Is this going down in the pit?
Yeah, there's
So we
one,
got a leak in the pit again?
yeah, the open pit behind the well house.
It was never fixed.
Yeah, we found it, the shut off and everything was one of the last things that Bruce, and me were doing. We found the shut off, me and Teddy's exercised the valve, everything's good to go. We got the water completely shut off to the leak, and then turn it back on, make sure that we could get complete shut off on it. So we're good for, have them come in and fix it as soon as you guys are good with it.
How'd they fix it?
They couldn't fix the phosphate because they couldn't get the valve to move. So between Teddy and Doug and Quentin, they finally have got the valve to release.
Okay.
And without the contained, whatever that thing's called, confined space thing, is unsafe for our guys to get down in there.
Yeah, well, there's, the chlorine lines going into that line as well, so if there's any chlorine gas down in there, we're done, so.
Doug explained it to me that it takes seconds and they would be done.
Do they even have confined space authorization and certification?
Well, that's the thing, we'd have to get the monitors and then we'd have to sign up for the certification class.
We don't as a town, but Cooley does.
But it'd be, what me and Amy and Teddy were talking about in our morning meetings, it'd be something that we could possibly split between us and the fire department. So,
You can lower them in the hole.
Well, I'm actually confined space tech, so.
Yeah.
yeah. I have been before for one of my former factories, but it's been a while.
I guess I'm amazed that they didn't fix it when,
Well, there's been one fix. The fluoride, we got the fluoride and the phosphate both going in. The fluoride's been fixed. There's a good repair on it, and then we're going to call Cooley, and they're going to put the exact same repair on the other one, the phosphate.
So did we get charged for that already when they came in?
Only the repairs that were made at the time. The gentleman, that came here, I can't remember his name, he stated that, without being able to get that valve to move, that he would have to come back and fix it at that time. But they can't pay for something that they don't know what it all is gonna entail, until they get down in there.
Huh?
so there's 2 injectors in the pit.
Phosphate and chloride.
Yeah, there's 3 lines going into that main. The big one, which is not an injector, it's just the free flowing, is the chlorine. And then you got 2 injectors, one on each side, that inject a certain amount of the fluoride and phosphate into the system. Which the phosphate has been turned off. I think it's the phosphate. Yeah, the phosphate's been turned off for a while because of that leak. And we just been running off what little natural phosphate we get out of the well, which is under the state minimum. So we really gotta get that up.
I believe that bill for the last repair was almost 5,000. Don't quote me, but I believe that was the last big bill that we had, close to that.
Yeah, I guess my impression was when they were here, they fixed it all and it was all good to go.
So was mine.
Apparently not.
Sorry, before my time.
You're safe.
Yeah.
This time.
All right, we appreciate
Well, there's
Thank you.
another question. Bruce made this question, or brought this up, that on the water tower, you have steel cables that have never been adjusted. So you got cross for the framework, you got crossing in there that those have to be adjusted. It's not been adjusted to my knowledge from the very beginning. If it was shared, it was with past water operators, or the last water operator when that tower that went in, which means your tower could shift and collapse.
Now, was any of that in the last well inspection? Or not the well inspection, but the tower inspection?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I don't think cables were in it.
Yeah. So I got the booklet in the office, but
You got like turnbuckles that you can tighten up.
so I know there's like certain preventative maintenance stuff that I gotta take care of, like taking the screens off the bottom, clean those out. I've been well, I just had to get a new heater for the that little building up there to keep the controls from freezing up. So I've been monitoring it. I've looked through the old reports. I skimmed through it. I'm still learning, like I said. So I know there needs to be some small stuff done starting in the spring, just to
Maybe
get us back
something
up.
that Michael Stuckey, his group may be
Ooh.
working on water towers as well.
Yeah, and
So he might have an answer.
we got I forget the company name. Doug gave me the name. We got a guy coming in. Actually, I got it on my email. He did our last flow test. He's going to come in and see what all his company would be able to inspect and do either yearly or bi-yearly maintenance for us also. But Doug said he's done some work for us in the past.
So Quentin, that is on your list of stuff for the tower.
Yeah. I got the tower.
No, the rods and risers,
Okay.
it's on there.
Okay. So like, yeah, we got a small list of stuff that we need to do ourselves for like the well house, the tower house, all it. The pole building. I know we have to lay a new drive down into the tower so we can do maintenance and stuff for the heavier trucks. We gotta get that done this spring. You know, we got a list of stuff that we're gonna do.
You have a big list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah.
the most of that stuff is just negligence, just stuff that was never done. And I'm sure it was addressed during the last well inspection, tower inspection. It just was never completed.
Yeah.
And don't ask me when the last one was before that one, because I have no idea.
That was in there. So,
we're ready to move on?
Yeah, if he's
Are you
good.
finished?
I'm good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
you.
Tom, do you have a report for the police department?
I do, the reports should be in front of you.
Yeah.
This prior month, the month of November, we had several citations written, responded to several crashes in the area, some arrests, one for OWI, I believe, subsequent to the crash. So pretty standard run of the mill type of responses the prior month. A couple fairly serious crash, which you never like to see this last month. But short of that, there's nothing else I think I needed to point out on the report. The only other thing we had is to ask you if you've been able to consider our request to adjust our staffing levels for the state budget.
So at this time, I would entertain the idea of a motion that we bring Sergeant Bedell to full-time status. If I hear a motion in a second.
And that's to begin as of when?
January. Well, it'll start in June.
So as of June,
June 3rd?
so like June 1st?
3rd?
Probably, whatever that Friday would be.
Let me see.
We just have to look.
Don't look at your calendar because you know how very.
I've had a motion made.
I'll make a
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.
welcome to the crew.
Good job.
Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to look what that date was.
So June 1st is Sunday,
So the third would, or the,
so 2nd is the Monday.
Okay, it'd probably be the week after that, cause my contract with them is till the
Friday the
third.
6th? Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
3rd.
6th, sorry. Whatever that Friday is when my contract is
So
up.
6th, so you'll then starting, I'm just gonna put it, I mean, first, it just whenever, I'm just coming out with a date, so you can start
No,
any day after
100%.
that.
Thank you.
sixth,
Sure. Or what, what were we
seventh,
Just say
deciding?
the, I mean, just say June
the Monday.
1st.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just say June the 1st, and we've got 6 months to figure
To
between
figure it
now
out,
and then
yeah.
figure the rest of that out.
Right.
And, you know, that, we're looking forward to using that time as well to, because we'll have to find a suitable replacement for his current position, which, as you know, won't always be easy.
Does the department have a report?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere, this thing, probably right on top of your application. See the police badge,
Yeah.
Philip?
Right.
It's probably right underneath there.
So what's that one? So what's this other one? What does they say down here?
Total. I'll put that up.
So how many people now are currently on the roster?
17.
17.
How many hooks you have?
24. And 17 people as of today, yeah.
You have 20, you have, what were that, 17 on the
17.
roster?
17 members,
And 24 hooks.
24 hooks.
And that doesn't include the cadet program.
All right, so I guess the business at hand would be that we were gonna elect a chief for the fire department tonight. And we've had, what, 2 applicants? Scott Hicks and Matthew Bartlett. So how do you wanna do that? You want them to leave the room, or?
No? You know both of them? You see their applications? We discussed them at the
This is
executive
the
meeting.
first time I've seen this one. I don't know if I've actually looked at this. Can I see Scott's in for a minute? Can I see Scott's application?
How will we go about this?
I don't know.
I'll just say all in favor of one and then all in favor of the other, is that how? I don't know either.
How you do it?
Are we ready to vote?
I mean, probably either make a motion or,
I would just say all in favor of one name and then all in favor of the other, I guess.
So then you can't vote though, right?
Do you want a silent vote?
Yes, I prefer silent.
Cause I can't vote.
Cedric can't vote. They're sitting right here.
Who's they put it in a can?
You get a hat?
Say 7.5%.
Hmm?
Let me butt in for a minute. Is this, you're voting on this right now?
Yeah, we're hiring
Why is he not voting?
because he joined the fire department.
Oh, he's okay.
Now he's,
I'm so okay.
yeah, he's on the council on the fire department. And that, we just, well, and the council was to hire them.
He was on the town board.
Okay, Matthew Bartlett, you're the new fire chief of Milton. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is that all we have from the fire department?
You know their report, if they have one?
I'd like to speak for a minute if I can. So, I served as the interim chief through kind of this transitional period here. I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to do this. I've made the decision to withdraw my application for fire chief because I felt in the best interest of the department and the community that Matt is the right person for the job. I've learned a lot. I will still remain in a leadership role with the fire department. I'm stepping him down to a fire captain's position. I've got two guys here with a lot of experience. All three of us, you know, we do this as our career. This is what we do. Matt's a great guy, a lot of knowledge, and I think I made the right decision, you know, when I got him involved with all this, and we're moving in the right direction. We've got, you know, 17 members on board now. There's only like, I think 2 or 3 of them have to even go to school. Everybody else is certified, more EMTs and firemen. You know, you got paramedic, and, you know, we're moving in the right direction. We just got 2 new thermal imaging cameras donated to us, so things are going very, very, very well. And I just wanted to, you know, I've learned a lot through this process, and I think you guys made the right decision here, and we're excited for the future. So thank you guys, and that's what I got, and I appreciate the opportunity to stay involved with this and help make this change happen. So appreciate you guys.
Thanks for stepping up, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
No problem at all.
So how do they come up with these numbers? I mean, where do they pull this at?
She's looking at your report now.
Probably from their in-house
She wants to know how you get these numbers.
Like
Who
who
went on the
attended,
run?
like how many went on the runs for the month?
So we have a couple things. We have a system in-house that we fill out a run sheet every time we go to the call, a narrative of the call, and each person that responded, either whether it was to the station, on our piece of apparatus, or went directly to the scene, any one of the three are possible depending on the nature of the call. So, like for instance, I think I made 3 or 4 runs the last few weeks of the month, but 2 were in one day where we had 2 car crashes, and then 3 were in one day when we had a crash, a car fire, and a medical call, I think it was, all on I-70, because we spent, every time we came back from I-70, we turned around and went right back to I-70. So, yeah, it's hypothetical that somebody could get 3 or 4 of those runs in one day. I think it was the Friday after Thanksgiving, we had at least 2, if not 3 crashes, because we saw these fine gentlemen at every one of them, except for one, which was on the interstate. So, like, we made 3 calls that one day from 3 crashes, and I know, like, myself was at one of them, Chief Hensley was at one, Cedric was at that one, and Chris Taggart was at that same, the 4 of us were all at that same crash. So 11 runs, I believe was the number, 11 or 12 runs was the monthly run out of
Well, it
CAD.
says 11, and then on the bottom it says total says 8.
So CAD within Wayne County can disagree. If it starts, I think there's one that's on there as domestic violence or something, or an assault. It started as a police run and then turned into us going for a checkout probably. So CAD doesn't make sense a whole lot, but that comes right out of their system, and it was 11 actual runs is what we were called out by. I verify the CAD, or we verify, and Nick did the same thing before. We have access to what they call active, which is our alerting system, and we have to verify it. Because if I went off of active, I'd tell you we got automatically every month we have 30 to 31 runs because we get test calls every night. So automatically it shows in active that we got, it would have shown that we had 42 runs, which isn't correct. So I don't know why it says 8 on one and 11 on the other, but it was 11 runs for service is what we did last month. We get an email that says that. That's what the email is every month. But I think it initiates of 11 include fire. Somehow it cuts off, like if it initiates as an EMS run or a law enforcement run, it doesn't count as a fire run, quote unquote, even though we're still paged out. So it started out as an EMS run or a law enforcement run, and then we might have been activated into it. I think there was one that was a lift assist last month.
Yeah.
And then I think there was one that was an assault or domestic. It shows we don't go to those unless it's an EMS checkout, so it started out as an EMS assist, and then the other one was a law enforcement assist, which I think deducts 2 out of that 11. The third, I don't know, it might have been the beginning of the month, might have been another run that I wasn't around for yet, so. We're working on some glitches that we're having with CAD and Wayne County Dispatch, and they've been great working with us, so we're sorting out some of those details in some broken communication, like we're not getting emails right now from them, so we're working through that process currently.
Anybody else have any questions?
Anything else?
Yeah, I do have a couple other things. First, everybody that carried the torch, I think, deserves a big pat on the back for the last couple months of everything that's been going on, and the town board, thank you. We all appreciate the opportunity to be able to continue on, and the history of the Milton Fire Department can continue to go forward. When I was down at the station one day last week, waiting for Chief Hensley, I had somebody stop and wanted to make a bid on the fire engine that's down there. I'm trying to make out the guy's writing. Douglas Savies, Saveges. He has an address on Union Pike over in Richmond. Had put a bid in of $1,500.
That means not really a bid anymore, is it?
No, but he would like to purchase it.
there was still a sign in the front of the truck that said,
For a
leave a bid, and my truck just happened to be there. So he left a bid. On scratch paper, like,
That'll be up to you guys to accept the bid on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
But
I think it should be up to
You're
them
gonna
now
leave it
because
up. Yeah, it's up to you guys.
I texted the guy's information to myself. But I would think that we should probably entertain that. I did check with, a friend of mine that is over on the west side of Indianapolis, a career firefighter from Wayne Township, and he collects fire trucks, and I sent him a couple pictures and just said roughly, what do you think we would get for this? And he said it would probably be worth a little below that, so I say, my,
Take that and run off.
Yeah,
and
Well, that's a lot lower than what they were.
get it out of our parking
Well,
lot.
like I said, that's what I wondered, how did we get from 25K to
10,
take 1,500 and run?
Yeah.
Because like I said, they took all the lights off
yeah,
of
they
it.
stripped.
well, they stripped, yeah, the truck was stripped down.
The only worth in that truck is the engine and transmission, that's it. It's just basically a big paperweight at this
The
point.
body.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to spend the money to put a tank in it.
That was the
Yeah.
minimum.
Is that the one with the bad tank?
Yeah.
I remember one of them was up at Converto with a bad tank, so I didn't know which one, but gotcha.
So we'll leave that up to you guys,
Okay,
if you wanna accept that bid.
I've
You
got
need
all, I sent myself a picture of it, I just wasn't sure really wasn't sure, because there was a sign that says submit a bid to the
I
town
don't know, it looks
office.
official to me.
I was like, oh, okay. The only other items is, again, thank you to Captain Bogue, or interim chief, Captain
Captain now, as of
Bogue,
tonight.
for the opportunity in the town, and we look forward to working with most everybody. He's the one that loved it. No, we look forward to working with everybody and continuing going forward, and I think that we have a couple other proposals submitted to you guys for review to be looked at over sooner than later at some point, but we were requesting
For air packs and
back to
for.
the air packs and the turnout gear, but for sure the reason the SCBA's are as important as they are currently and would be leading the pack in that deal is it's threefold. One is trying to save the town money in the long run, even though it doesn't seem it by laying that out there. You want to cry looking at it, and I totally understand. Right now, they're on end of year discount that they do every year, which I believe, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I believe that's when they were purchased last time, was at the end of year purchase deal, so it's fairly similar. The other problem is in January, a large majority of this stuff is gonna go up again, because it's the first of year price increase, and they said to prepare between a 7 and 11% increase on fire, law enforcement, and EMS equipment, because they just love the public safety world so much. So they know we need it, so they just keep jacking the prices up. So the price for the SCBA's is gonna go up probably a good 10 or 12% January 1st, if we don't order those by December 19th, I think was the date, 17th or 19th.
19th, yeah.
To at least put our name on the four of them. And so there's a couple reasons we need to do this. One is,
I forgot.
Did you check with your bank?
I forgot to.
Slacker job.
you guys, we have the new G1 air packs like this on 2 of the trucks, but not one of the trucks. Our masks are not integratable, so if I went inside of a burning building off of one truck and came out and had a problem, the air pack on the other truck does not work, so I will lose time having to switch that out. The other thing is the dates on the packs that are on engine 2 currently are, the parts aren't easily accessible to repair them anymore. They were used from, I don't remember where they came from originally. We looked the other night, there's a sticker on it, they were full-time departments before that probably got donated to us at some point, and they're dinosaurs, I guess would be the best I can say. And, yeah, they're the old Firehawks. So the plug and play of the new stuff that we have on Engine 4 and Rescue 1 isn't there. The other thing we don't have is what they call a RIP pack, in case one of us went down in an emergency. It's called Rapid Intervention Team. It's a firefighter rescue kit to be able to go in and give us emergency air if one of us was someplace where we were out of air or low on air or had a damaged mask. So that's a portion of that, that quote also from Donnelly. Donnelly, we did check everybody. Donnelly, out of the 3 that sell MSA in the area, that was the least expensive quote. Not by a whole lot, but by about $900, and that's who we bought the last set from. I don't remember if it was last year or year before. I know we looked it up, but it was last year. Kind of the same deal. So it's identical. They're plug and play, and these are 15, 20-year service items for a department our size. I mean, they're not. You know, the reason we didn't get that life cycle out of the ones that we're replacing is because they were probably already 10 years old when we got them. The ones that we're looking at replacing are about 22 years old.
So you have 5 new ones now.
Correct.
So that'd be total 9.
Correct. And that would be every air pack position we have in the
That was
department.
every seat that needs an air pack on a fire truck.
Not only that, if I may, but operationally for us, one thing that is important, and I spoke to now Chief Bartlett about this, is ISO mitigation over the next 5 years. So what we're looking at there too is improving our ISO number in this area. So as we improve that ISO number, you guys will see decreases in your insurance rates at home. So anything that we do like this to make ourselves compatible, more safe, stuff like that, is an improvement in ISO as well. So these are all steps that we're taking, and we will take a little bit at a time. You know what I'm saying? Just a bite at a time to get there. But NFPA regulations and stuff like that from a safety standpoint puts us across the board the same in our department. Right now, if you got a guy coming out, you don't know which one he has, which one, you know what I'm saying? It's really a safety issue.
They also take different bottles, so we have to pay attention. So if I come off of if we're at a fire and Nick came off of engine 4, he's gonna take 1 bottle. I may not know that until I'm physically looking at the pack, and then I gotta go there, and then if we only have a certain number of bottles, we might, on the wrong run, we might run out of bottles. But it's, like what Chief Hensley's saying is
It's an issue.
it's unfortunately it's one of those expensive things. Everybody around us also has either updated a majority of their air packs for the most part, with the exception of maybe 2 departments. Majority, yes. Centerville has those. Richmond has those. Bentonville has them currently. I think Abington has them. The only 2 that I know that haven't updated them recently, especially not to these, is Cambridge City and Dublin. I know Dublin runs the older Firehawks, and Cambridge City runs.
On Penner's Bureau.
And Cambridge City has Scott. So, but again, that doesn't mean anything to you guys. It doesn't really mean anything to us except for their bottles won't fit on our air packs. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. But Centerville, who we run with frequently, runs these same ones. Richmond, they're a lot easier to get service and parts. Pretty much if we have a pack go down, it'd be less than for a couple days. I work in Indianapolis, so I can take it with me. They can get, the parts are readily available, they fix it. If they can't fix it right then and there, they have a loaner program. They give us a loaner while they send it out for warranty. But
Are the air packs recharged by you or by outside service?
we recharge them ourselves, and then every we have to flow test them once a year, and then we have to have the bottles hydroed. I think those are carbon fiber bottles, if I remember right. So they're 10 years, 10-year hydrostatic testing, which those are pretty minimal. I mean, the bulk of it's buying them. After that, it would be
It's preventative.
yeah, preventative maintenance. We can fill the bottles with air ourselves if we have problems with our SCBA system, which me and Cedric and Chief Hensley, we were all messing with it last night. But if we have problems there, I have access to Centerville to be able to fill them. And then also Dublin has a portable SCBA fill station. So if we had a large enough fire and event, we can have Dublin come down. Their one engine has the ability to fill probably 15, 20 of our bottles on the site of a fire. So we have some options there. If we had a really, really, really bad day, there's some options out of Fayette
Is
and
the old
Rush County.
bottles, is that something you could recharge as well at one time?
The what?
The older bottles?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
just, okay,
It's just refilling.
just, okay.
And,
And
going forward, if we wanted to keep those old bottles around and purchase pneumatic tools, whether it be lift airbags to lift or air chisels or something like that, we can repurpose those old bottles to power pneumatic tools for us too in the future as well. So.
And some of the newer bottles can actually be retrofitted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have some bottles we can send out to get retrofitted to give us some extra bottles. Chief Hensley, when we got this quote, we had asked about that, and it was, I think it was 170 or 175 bucks a bottle.
Yeah, about 100.
As we found, I think it was 6 bottles, 5 or 6 bottles that are fairly new, that were probably bought for the old air packs, that we could send out, have the valves changed out, and actually give us some spares to keep on the trucks, which again is fairly normal in the fire service. Like at my station, on our trucks, for every air pack we have in the seat, we have 2 spare bottles on every truck. That way, if we're at fire long enough, we can just change out 3 bottles, and then we're out of air, or we have another truck coming. Right now, most of our trucks are empty, or we have 1 bottle per pack that came with them, so we could send some of those out to get some valves changed out and have some spare bottles. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to step in her foot. And then the turnout gear would be a proposal that we were thinking about for next year. We had some lease options that we laid out. They were willing to honor that pricing going after the first of the year. Again, we actually got 5 quotes on turnout gear from a few different manufacturers. We have some gear, so for a year or two, we're gonna be in kind of a split between black gear for some people and red gear for some people, as people need it, and the people have been here and have the certifications to be able, and the ability to be able to go in and fight fire would be my proposal, to put them in new turnout gear and push some of the older gear down. We do have some that's in date, but a lot of it is sizing issues with the turnout gear. You can't have it too bulky, and you certainly can't have it too tight, because you can't zip it up and close yourself up and be able to move. So we're at that point. If we wanted to purchase and not look at the lease option, after looking at some of the dates of gear and talking to Chief Hensley, if we had to split that, if we weren't gonna do the lease and we're just gonna buy the gear, probably do 6 sets, 5 or 6 sets, 2025, and 5 or 6 sets at the beginning of 2026, and we would probably be okay. We might have to piece an extra jacket here or there together for some people. Like we got one guy that joined last night. Well, he joined last week, but he came and got his gear and everything last night. He's got 2019 pants, and he's got a jacket that's 18 years old because he's a 54 chest. I mean, we don't have any that size.
And keep in mind, our gear. Keep in mind, our gear is completely expired in 10 years.
Yeah,
And
the gear only has a 10-year shelf life.
Yeah.
Every 10 years is junk.
And you just said everything in the house will be expired in 10 years?
2027, everything's
in
expired.
2 years, everything in house will be expired.
In 2 years.
Yes.
And your quote right here on the Republic, that's for 6 sets, right?
That's for 10.
That's for 10 sets, okay.
That's 10 sets of gear, and that's from head to toe, fingers to arms. That's 10 sets of gloves, fire gloves as well as education gloves, 10 jackets, 10 pairs of pants, 10 new pairs of boots, 10 helmets, because that's going to be the. And if we need to change this up for 2025 budget, me and Chief Hensley can work on that. But like most of our helmets, if they're not expired, they're going to be expired real soon. So we need to look at that immediately, and we definitely need to get a couple sets of gear ordered for people that we've had that just don't fit in the gear we have currently.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
You're fine.
I was gonna say, the way we would like to do this, if Chief Bartlett don't mind me saying, is 10 sets and then 10 sets again, once this is done. You know, if you do it on a lease program, we would get that 10 sets, not have that bulk expense at once, but it would just be a small portion of our budget every year, paying on that. After 5 years, the gear does belong to us. Then the next 5 years, we can go for another 10 sets. So if we keep rotating that out, we continuously keep 20 members in new gear, all the time. Or gear that's not expired, let's put it that way.
And that doesn't include if something gets damaged in a call, whether it's a structure fire or an accident, or we had a few that got soaked in diesel fuel at my last apartment. I think you guys had that here a few years ago too, didn't you? A kerosene heater or something. We can bill the insurance company as long as the people have insurance to get that stuff back, to get that reimbursed. But also, I know at my previous department, we had insurance on our gear through the town, and I don't remember what part of the insurance policy that was, so it might be worth checking. But the gear can be insured also, where if the homeowner doesn't have insurance and we get saturated or we have some kind of contaminant, because I do know that the town's insurance paid for 3 sets of gear a couple of years ago because there wasn't insurance as an option. I think it was a truck wreck, if I remember right, and they didn't have insurance. So there is an option there to insure the gear. I just don't know what policy it is.
So this is through Republic, is a lease program.
It is.
So, the banker, so if we paid this off early, like a certain amount each month, like the annual payment, is there an additional fee charged to us?
There is not an additional early termination or early payoff fee. They don't offer, or they offer that as an extension to public safety. There is no early termination, but it would do, and I know you come from banking world, so you'll understand this more than I do, but the interest rate for the daily payoff drops. It would affect that.
You pay
more
less
than-
interest more.
Right, you would,
Yeah.
so that's not my world.
Right.
But I know that drops every day, they said, but they do not charge anything extra. I think they kind of make the money on I think there's a little $200, $300 dock fee at the front, on the front end, I think, if I remember right. That is how they get you one way or one side or the
Yeah.
other.
I mean,
so.
everybody charges
Absolutely.
some kind of fee.
Yep.
I mean, we would charge a dock fee.
Sure.
Of probably $150, $250. So I mean, there's.
You know, I think the
there's a
interest
dock
rate
fee.
would be the wild card there is,
So this says APR 7.23, so what's the actual interest rate?
that was it, that is.
Oh, that's the
that
actual
is- that
interest
is
rate
it.
too?
So, but I know that sometimes at local banks, they might work better, sometimes not.
I email myself at work, so I can remember to do that.
Even though you won't respond to it, I'll text you tomorrow.
It's okay, I don't return calls either.
I'll
Wow,
remind
look
you.
at the time. Meeting adjourned. Moving on.
So what should we do about this deadline?
Well,
The 19th is next week.
Yeah.
yeah, can you get us a better interest rate by then, do you think?
Well, this isn't for this, the air
The family
packs. The air packs
is
is
the
just,
19th.
is the 19th, that has nothing, this is,
Oh.
Yeah, the air packs, they
They're
need
two separate.
$37,000.
that's nothing to do with the loan, the 37,967.50, that's for
The-
10,
Sets of gear.
sets of gear.
The numbers are oddly very close to each other, so they're, and we could use Republic for the air packs too. I mean, that is an option. I can't guarantee that the payment's the same, but I would assume that it is, because it's fire gear. Republic does any of those. But the air packs, I agree, are the critical thing because of the deadline. We didn't know that when we went into this, when we asked, what was the quote, like November 23rd, 22nd, I think?
That's
That's,
Thursday.
11:30.
yeah, that's when they told us, oh, yeah, hey, it's the end of your sale, so you've got until December 19th to choose. And it's like, oh crap.
I say you might vote on it tonight, and then it doesn't go into effect if township refuses
Yeah, so do we
to
have this
have.
vote to township in regards to,
We have attempted to reach out to Mr.
Township?
Risch a couple times.
I actually ran into Ken at the Mini Mart yesterday, day before yesterday. Told him we need to talk to him about some stuff. He just said he's busy. That's all I got from him. So.
I was planning on it, depending on how the outcome of tonight's vote was, I was probably just gonna go down to where he works, because I know where he works, and try to catch him either on his way into work on a morning or on his way out of work on an afternoon. And just try to, or reach out to the,
So do you have a copy of this to give to him, these to give to him? Make sure that you give those to him and tell him that I need to know before 1 o'clock on the 17th,
yes, ma'am,
not the 19th.
I'm clear.
And I'm Amy, not Ma'am.
Clear.
I get it every day, man. I get it every day.
So what's the,
and the funds are there to,
They will be next year.
and that's just a few
And that we,
weeks
the
away.
same thing happened last year. They made the proposal for the air packs. They accepted it in November. The bill didn't come to me until February and it wiped out their budget. I can prepare myself a little bit better if I know that this half down at 18,000 is a lot better than the 22 that came out immediately last year. This is something that is easier to work with because I know that they have things scheduled to make money, or not scheduled, but plans to make it.
That's a lost entity.
My house is burning down. I want them to be able to get in my house and save my dog.
I want my guys to be able to breathe.
Hey, but if we could breathe, we could save the dog.
What about if we table the turnout gear until January, we do a little more research on
Well,
that?
I emailed myself at work so I can talk to them to see what kind of rates we can get
Would
on
it make
that.
sense to finance the air packs?
With it?
It could.
I don't know. I mean, you're going to save 7.23% just doing it now.
No,
Plus
but
a 300%.
He's meaning combine the turnout gear and
And the
this, and finance both
So,
together.
so like six.
The Republican,
$70,000. 72,000.
I think it was
Yeah,
75,000. If we finance the whole 75, I can also ask Republic, I didn't ask for any more than 5 years. I can ask if they would go further and we just try to pay it sooner, because
think-
Chief Hensley's been starting to bill out and I think that's what Amy's
I
referring
think
to.
the 5 years is good, like they were talking about, do 5 years and then to pay it off and then get some more turnout years. So I think leaving it, if you could go out more than 5 years, I think that's just
Just extending
dragging it on. So I think I like the 5-year term and just paying, like rounding up the thing to paying an even number each month. If it's better for us to pay each month.
And
Because-
if you went out past 5 years, actually on that, you would be double hitting yourself probably in the like 6th, 7th year, because we would have to get that next 10 sets at the 5-year mark. So you would double hit a payment in those 2 years. So if you just went on a 5-year term, it would work itself out every year. It would just be a consistent, you guys would expect it. You know what I'm saying? On the turnout gear.
I mean, I could also ask Republic, because it's two separate items, right? The air packs or the SCBA's are one thing, and the turnout gear is separate. They might be willing to do 2 separate leases, but that way you're not writing a check for $37,000 for air packs. Say, hey, do 3 years on the air packs, divide it out over 3 years. We'll do 5 years on the the turnout gear still. But we got 3 years, then we just throw some extra money at it anytime, not anytime, but some of the money that we get back from billing accident calls and hazmat calls, we throw extra. That's the nice thing about this lease program. That's the reason I was attracted to it, is we could do it either monthly, semi-annually, or annually. They didn't care when they had the payments as long as it was done. They were fine with the annual payments, which I've never run into. I buy a lot of trucks and
So
that's
annual
monthly.
payments is just, I think, in the long run, save you money, like, then you can buy, however much, people make bi-weekly payments.
Sure.
Some people make monthly payments, quarterly payments, it just depends on.
The benefit to doing the financing of it is, as I explained to you guys in the executive meeting, is instead of wiping out our budget to pay for this, we've got operating money in our budget every year on top of that. So you come to us and you say, we paid for this, you're absolutely broke. If we can't put a set of tires on a fire engine down there, now I understand you guys could possibly make that happen somewhere, if need be. But, you have to understand that we are trying to improve what's going on down there, and that would continue to allow us to have operating budgets still in the.
and the way we broke it down, it was a $400 payment.
Yeah, 443 or something like that.
And with them turning in, now being able to turn in and hopefully start receiving the money, they're gonna pay for it themselves, basically.
So like, I'm just saying, like, it's like 443, what I would do is pay 450 and just get it paid off faster.
Absolutely.
So I think what we need to do though is approve this subject to, if we
You.
can find additional,
And you.
if you can check on that side of like.
If they'll lease-
If they'll do 2 separate leases, or do you want one big lease?
I think,
2,
2 separate, do like one for the air packs for like 3 years and then with a higher amount, or just 2 separate ones for 5 years?
I'll go 2 for 5.
2 for 5?
2 for 5, Banker.
well, 5 years is a long time for, I mean, I understand that in regards to the
The gear.
gear, because
right.
you're paying it off and then about that time you gotta get new ones to keep the process going. But air packs, do we wanna pay for them for 5 years? So
So
on
he can-
$37,000,
so if he
you're
could
looking
get-
at a lot of interest.
So can we give him the time to get us see if that goes a 3-year contract?
Yeah, so, and I will try to do that tomorrow,
Sure.
but I think we need to I think, approve this based on just this tonight
Yep.
for our
Or
half.
possible improvements.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
And then I've got,
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
But I think we need, but that's based on,
get
that's
ahold of
based
the council,
on
the township.
township approval.
Yeah, yeah. Cause we can't go the whole.
You know.
And we need to do, I mean, so we need that, like, I mean, he needs to vote on that.
Cedric, you can't make a motion.
I'd really like that.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
I was getting ahead of myself. I was looking at
Everyone got excited.
I was looking at the clock. So,
Okay.
So if you can get us a 3-year contract like ASAP, and you can get this stuff done as soon as you can.
ASAP.
ASAP.
And then you're gonna check on your end.
I'll try to check on, yeah, on both, but I'll do the air packs first to see if they're even interested, and see what kind of rate. And I'll just do the 3-year just to see what the,
Competition.
mhm. If
Alright.
not, we'll just do, and, but it needs, both have to be approved no matter what
Oh, yeah.
through township.
Yeah.
The only other thing we have is, the Santa, the Christmas Santa on the 21st. It'd be great to, have the station open from 11 to, I think it's 2, 1 or 2. Doing the Santa parade, dragging Santa around, bringing them all to houses.
Will you drag him like
Amy's
his
trying to tell us to
ball
drag them.
So how you feel like doing that, Larry? You got it.
And then, the station will be open for, pictures with Santa and some cookies and snacks and candy bars and whatever else we've mustered together, so it'd be great to see anybody there that can come down.
If any of you have Donnie Onstott's number, could you get that to me? Larry probably does.
Larry's got
Donnie's number,
Donnie on
his phone number.
I do, but my phone's at the house.
Well, I'll come down and see you because I've got your IDFA card. So I'm gonna drop that off to you too, so, Larry. So I'll
Did
just
you
get
hear
that.
him?
Huh?
He has your
My card?
I said I had,
I don't need it. I got a gold card.
yeah, but they send you a new one every year. though,
They do?
too. Yep.
Well, I don't really need it.
Okay, but I'll come down and
It
see you.
just
and get-
saved you a trip because I've got that, they call it a gold card.
He needs Donnie's number, so he's coming to see you.
Oh,
It won't
okay.
be tonight, but I'll come see you this week to get Donnie's number.
Okay. Well, Donnie just lives right over there.
Does he still live there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
River.
Okay, never mind, I'll go see Donnie.
I've got it in my phone, but I didn't bring my phone with me.
Thank you.
You gotta put me in my
So, this Ethan Baker, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm just standing in the back to the from sitting somewhere.
This Ethan Baker,
I need a gold card after 50 years.
Brinkley, Mr. Brinkley reached out to him, right?
Yeah.
And is going to provide him with the right surveys that he had done, and then he's gonna revisit having that stuff
So he
removed.
wants to vacate the private right of way at 414 West Main,
Yeah,
and it'll have to be checked.
yeah, and I've got a message through his mom to him, about making sure he has 811 out there to make sure that before they start taking anything down or digging,
Gas
there's
lines,
nothing down.
Yeah, Brent was, he knows where the markers are.
Okay, so at this time, Larry, you're on the agenda.
I am? Okay. It's just the same old stuff. As a town, the board started looking in on grant money yet for the water tower.
For what?
Clean and paint.
That's what they're doing right now. They're,
Okay.
Stuckey and his guys are working with Quentin, and I just gave them, yesterday? A copy of all of this, so they're working on all of it,
Okay.
and we'll let you know.
Well, I just, because I know it takes a while to get grant money.
That's something that we are definitely gonna look into. I'm waiting on Stuckey to go over this to make
That's
sure,
fine. That's
to
fine.
make sure that everything.
It's just getting, to me, it looks like it's getting,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it does
there's
need a lot of work.
things in here that need
It
to be
does.
repaired.
And some of it we can do
was talking
ourselves.
about tightening up
The cable,
the cable. I just live right under that water tower, so get it fixed fast.
You'll get a quick shower.
So you want a hot tub?
I don't wanna get washed down in the river. Okay, that was my number one. Number two, where's our Christmas decoration at?
They're going up Friday,
Going up Friday,
Yep.
okay.
till we get a lift or bucket truck.
Yeah, bucket.
We
truck.
have to
Dublin
wait.
usually comes down.
They're
Yeah,
coming down
yeah.
Friday.
Lenny's gonna let us borrow, or
Okay.
help us use it on Friday.
Okay.
So we've made sure all the lights are good, they're ready to
Where's
go
our
in
flower
boxes.
pots at for the light poles?
The what?
I brought it up a year ago about getting flower pots like Kansas has got
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
on their poles,
I
and
didn't
then
know.
somebody goes around.
Oh, like
and-
hangers?
waters?
Like a hanger or something like that?
Yeah, they,
I
A
didn't
lot
know
of
if
our
you know that.
light poles, we
That's what they do
cannot
with Canada.
put
Yeah.
It's got flowers.
a hanger on the light poles.
why,
They're too close to the
Flower shop
highway.
drives around with it.
We
really?
can't put them this way?
Oh,
Track.
You can't turn them around.
Hartford City, they got it too. and
Don't we own 'em?
Their city got a little.
We hang our
You own
flags
the,
up.
you
Go
own
around water 'em.
you own
Oh.
poles, but now you're talking about putting something up there that's got some weight to it.
We hang flags off of them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, we hang flags on.
It's a little-
And I noticed while we're on it, I think there's a couple of them out down through here. I noticed,
Well, maybe when
I think
Lenny's
there's
here,
one
they
out
can.
right out
Yeah.
ahead, or
I think we got one out we saw yesterday, or no, this morning because of the fog, the lights are still
we're
on.
not allowed to hang nothing on, I didn't know that.
I think you're not allowed to hang nothing out over the road,
out over the road.
but I don't know about.
So
flags.
if we get, if
Yeah,
we get baskets for flowers to hang on there, will you donate?
Then you can water them every day.
No,
I'll give you
I'm
some.
not. Not happening.
I
No,
tried to
Not a
donate
green
everything
thumb.
that goes on, I don't.
Are you gonna donate?
I can.
Okay, we'll take the first donation then.
You might get out the
This pertains to property. The junk automobiles, now don't pick up a handful of paper and say, well, we're working on it. The junk cars, I rode around today and there's so many junk automobiles. What's the holdup?
I think we've discussed this before, and I think you were told then that there's not a holdup.
Well,
that it's
every
being
time
addressed.
I've mentioned it, you guys just hand up a holdup of
So,
bunch of paper.
so let me ask you a question, and
I mean,
I'm asking, now, you asked me a question, now I'm gonna return.
I said it
one.
would more or less pertain to.
Yeah, no, and it's a reasonable question, but I'm trying to help you answer it here. If you tell me you don't want me to hold up a book of papers that hear me out, that clearly demonstrate that it's been addressed, then you alleviate the ability for me to help answer your question. So I can't really help you past that.
But it just, to me, it's an ongoing matter that keeps.
Because
going
you
on.
don't have
Today, for instance,
all the knowledge to help you understand the big
Well, I
picture,
don't know, but-
and we try to give you that.
looks
That's
like
what,
you won't have to need a whole lot of knowledge to understand that these junk automobiles needs to be moved and done away with. There's one sitting on Connersville Street right now that's got 2 flat tires and no license plates on it.
okay? So, and I know we talked about this before too, when you see things like that you like addressed, that's what your police department's for, come to us.
I mean, we're saying we got ordinances against this stuff. Then when they get I don't know what you call it, an ordinance served on them, they've got a period of time to do anything, and after that period of time, they get fined, I'm gonna say fined for it.
Sure,
Sure,
no,
they
you're
do.
right.
Are
That's
these
good.
people getting fined
Oh,
for
yeah.
these?
We have people in court right now.
Okay.
I got the bills.
That's what I was talking about, maybe not understanding
I've
the
got
whole
the-
picture.
I turn that stuff into the attorney,
I
the
know
people
what
that
you mean.
are refusing to pay or get it cleaned up. And
Well,
once it goes to the attorney,
Does
then
that not get added onto their property taxes?
I don't know how the courts
That's the
work.
way it used to work, I think.
I don't know.
That's a court decision.
I do
It
not know
turned in
how
on
court
their property
works.
taxes some way.
Try
or
to
another.
They put a lien against, you can put a lien against the property, but it wouldn't go towards their property taxes.
I don't know how it gets done,
I don't know. I can email Joe and
but I seen,
I have
Do
no
we know
idea.
where we're at with
We're
any
at
of
on,
those?
that's, we're at on Carmel.
We're waiting.
huh?
We're at
We're
on
waiting to
Carmel.
get into court.
Right across from Scotty Hicks's house.
Please.
I noticed it sitting there the other day. It's got flat tires, no plates on it.
Yeah, so what would help us, when you see that, when you see something like that, it's enough of a concern for you to bring it to town council, but you didn't bring it to the police department.
Well,
So help us help you.
To me, that's not as bad as seeing them pile around, sitting around in the yards.
I
It's
know
been
exactly
sitting there
where
for-
you're
And there are ordinances that specifically address that.
If
So
we
can
can't have
only
a
do what
chicken
ordinance
in town, we
allows.
can't have a junk car in town, I would think.
Well, we try to, the ordinances address both. You don't have to have one or the other. That's the good news. The ordinances do address both. But I guess what I'm trying to tell you is this has been an ongoing thing, and we've addressed it as a department, and we'll continue to, because our goal is to make this town better. In terms of the aesthetics, the things you see, and your desire to live in this town without having to see junk cars. We take that personally, that's our goal. So I don't want you to think that I'm not acknowledging the pain that you're feeling there, I am. I just need you to understand that sometimes it seems like you assume nothing's happening, even though we keep telling you
Well,
that
to
it
me,
is.
it looks like nothing is happening.
Hey Tom, can I add something?
Because it's out of our
Like
hands right now.
with me and Teddy, and even when Bruce was here driving around doing our jobs, like we would see Tom out there handing out those some of those little tickets, especially to like everybody
Well,
knows.
Tom may be doing, I'm not saying he's not doing his job, don't get me wrong. He's handing this stuff out, but to me, it don't look like it's going
It's
no
the
further.
court system. The court system, they drag their feet on everything. So,
But if
Ultimately,
it's-
we can't just go on someone's property and
Yeah.
tow it away. You know what I mean? It's still private property. We have to go through the court system to get
But if
anything
it's on the street though, that is public
done. Correct.
property.
if it's on the street,
But it
it's
doesn't
fine.
have to be
Street
registered to
and-
sit on the street, it just has to be registered to be driven on the street.
Correct.
But if it has no tags, it's not
That's-
registered.
Correct.
But it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be registered to sit
Oh,
on
it
the
has to be
street.
registered to be driven. So there's a
Really?
difference, yeah, it doesn't have
So
to
it
be
can, sit
registered.
on, it can sit on the street with flat tires and no plates.
This one's got 2 flat tires and
Can
no
that be addressed
tags.
in ordinance?
It is addressed in the ordinance if it's
I was
in
gonna
op,
say.
or if it's in op for a period of time and viewable to the public, that's a different story, but
It
as
gets
far as not
tagged
being
and-
registered,
And
it
this
doesn't
one,
have to be
I know which
registered.
one he's talking about, and it's been sitting here.
I thought it had to be on your personal property if it was not registered. If
That's
it's
what
in
I
the
thought.
streets,
That's
it's
what I thought.
illegal. That's what I've been told before with
There's
some
no
of my
city,
personal
there's no
vehicles.
state law that says it has to be registered to
So
park
it's
on the
it's
side
up
of the
to the
road.
town, like if the town has.
Correct,
Yeah.
it's all city ordinance
And
based.
we don't have an ordinance that covers parking on the street. But,
Let's do it.
yeah.
Give us the power to
Yeah,
enforce it.
that's, we're
I mean,
happy to.
They're sitting in yards.
Add it to the ordinances, we're gonna have.
ornaments.
Yeah, I guess.
I like all of theirs.
Could be like Art Barrett decorating.
I think we should flow.
And Chief Hensley.
But and here's the other thing I would encourage you to consider, that this is a glass is half full scenario too, and the fact that, to my knowledge, and you all have, some of you, Phil, you've been here for a minute. Dwight, you've been here for a substantial amount of time. I don't know of a time when ordinance violations were ever so aggressively worked, addressed, and the process, I can tell you for sure, was never as complete as it is now. So when I say complete, there was
I can show
never,
you.
there was never litigation.
When I show you
And
that
now there
book,
is.
that shows you, if they've got a paper clip, and if it's thick, they either denied their certified letter, or they got their certified letter. I have every single ordinance violation that they have written.
Well, I believe you
In
before
there.
that goes.
So if they've gotten to the point of a fine, and they refuse their ordinance violation, I send it straight to jail.
So it's
So
still
then we're just waiting on the court
in
system.
the process.
It's a vicious loop that we all live in.
And unfortunately, in the civil,
And
side of
it's-
ordinance
yeah,
never
if they
passed.
pay it, it goes into the police department.
I just, to me, it just looks like nothing's happening.
Now, I know it looks like nothing, but once it goes to the lawyer and it's in the court's hands, it's like,
of our hands.
it's tied.
Can I add just one thing? I'm not stepping in the police department's business, but we're gonna be proposing from the fire department after we get with Tom and Sergeant Bedell and Chief Hensley. We have some proposed ordinances that we wanna enact also for the fire department portion. So if the town's gonna go through changing ordinances or adding ordinances, that might be a good time for the law enforcement side of that to address if it's, some of the, again, I'm not trying to stick my nose in something, but that might be a time to, if we're gonna pay the attorney, because I would assume we're gonna have to, to review some of those ordinances before the town adopts them, that might be a good opportunity
But he
for.
adds that fee to the ordinance violation fee, so it still goes on their bill.
Right, but I'm just saying that might be a good time to review if there's ordinances they wanna have
You see
reworded
this
or
book right here?
added.
This whole book needs to be reviewed, it's from 2018. The whole book.
Is there anything?
Was that
is there any
ordinance
fire in
book?
that?
Not one section about fire.
One word.
Well, and the reason, to add to Chief Bartlett, the reason we're gonna come to you guys with ordinances is because there's things that you guys want dealt with, correct? So, and there's things that we need to do, and when I talked to you earlier about that ISO mitigation again, you know, getting our ISO number decreased, reducing your guys' insurance rates in town, make sure everybody's safe, ordinances help us do that. Every little thing we do, all the way down to the fire department having a generator, affects the ISO number.
In some towns, they have ordinances, if you, basically a cup of oil leaks out of your car, you're in trouble.
We're covered for that on the state statutes, with the crashes, same thing, it's the crash.
No, I mean,
hazmat.
people just park in their car and let the
But
oil
some of-
drain out on the,
Like, I know that in just a short amount of time that I've been coming down here almost daily, I see a lot of fire hydrants blocked. There's ordinances that we can help, the police department can help us, we can help the police department. There's some options that other towns in the area have done, you know, like the ones that I sent you.
Next time you need
to-
an emergency service, whatever you all call it.
But we're
That
also,
way everybody works together and cleans this entire mess up.
well, some of it's also, I mean, we have IFC codes that we have to go through, so like, we have a couple commercial properties that we don't think about in town a whole lot. McDonald's, Speedway are technically in our jurisdiction. You know, we should be looking at some kind of inspection program for that. You know, it doesn't have to be a charge thing, but we should be going and saying, hey, the fire department's been here, we have a pre-plan. That's on our agenda for the first year, some pre-plans for the few commercial properties we have. Currently, I'm halfway through a pre-plan if an incident happened at the house that we've talked about a few times, the residence business over on, and the pre-plan for that and what that would entail, which is, but we're gonna have to do some level of enforcement on some of that stuff at some point and work with the police department, but to be able to do that, we have to get some of the right items in place first.
see, there's a wrecking yard by his house, which one time had a lot of cars in there. When you look at our water system, that falls within our water, clean water. Can't have a wrecking yard. We have not probably created ordinance stating that. But from the state, you got a 1 mile radius and that wrecking yard next to him fell within that radius.
You call it a
was
wrecking
saying,
yard, I
you-
call it a junkyard.
So who,
Yeah, it's
In
called-
old terms, that's about the same thing. I mean, I'm in the
What-
towing
what
business,
you
so
say
I
about
take
that?
wrecking,
What,
nothing to do with us.
The aquifer where our water comes from is inside the trash, the wrecking yard.
okay,
The wrecking yard basically,
who gave him permission to put it there?
It's been there. That
For
building has
years?
been there for
well,
years. The
nobody looked
building.
at
Okay.
the ordinance,
I've been
state
told
ordinance.
Does he have a
about
business
the aquifer.
license?
that
No.
has been a junkyard
It's
since
not
I've been a
Milton
kid.
Junkyard.
So that would be something for the town, in my
Okay.
opinion, my professional opinion.
Right,
It would be contact IDEM,
right.
IDEM water control and water,
What was you saying about the water?
Well, we have
That
an
you're drinking
aquifer
oil.
for fresh water, for our drinking water.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, you guys should impose ordinances like that, and one thing, you know, like us working in public safety and other areas, it's best to be sometimes proactive on ordinances than it is to be reactive
Well,
sometimes.
our former water operators knew this.
Yeah, but also, just because you don't have an ordinance, I will tell you that there are state, and Amy's heard me say this term before, IC codes.
They're everywhere.
That-
They cover a period.
Everything, that you guys don't even have to have an ordinance. If you contact IDM, they'll come in and say, this violates this code, this code, this code, this code, and they will force them to clean that up.
And you'd get rid of a lot of those vehicles.
Well, the vehicles within that area, there's not as much inside, but the fence is missing, but they do have pumps outside the building that
For
pumps.
the rainwater, yes,
Well,
yes, they do.
Yeah, and that, I don't know if it's coming from inside the building or what, pumps directly into
The
the drain, the
Yeah,
storm
that's-
drains right there.
I would be, especially if we're concerned about it being a wrecking slash salvage yard, or whatever you wanna call it, junkyard. I would definitely say that that's, and I believe there is, I'm not 100%, not to go on Chief Hensley's IC code world, but I believe there is an IC code that junkyard slash salvage slash record yard, or wrecking yards, not record, need to have fenced facilities because of the public safety danger.
Oh, I don't even know if it's still active, you know, I haven't
It doesn't
seen
matter.
anybody
It's
there.
not active, but-
You look at items, elaborate list of what is considered wrecking slash salvage, previous or current. They don't want it there any more than any of us in this room want it there. But they have the leg of the state to be able to come and handle things, especially being that it's in the area of a drinking water area. I would say contacting IDEM would be it's a free phone call, right? I mean, it's nothing to take a phone call or shoot an email. They send somebody out, they'll probably put a drone in the air, take some pictures and make a decision, yes, this is something we're looking at, or send a letter to the town of Milton saying, sorry.
We know idea very well.
It's been considered a junkyard for years. What I've always been told is I tried buying it here a while back, but I've been told that if it gets sold, let's say Bones that owns it now, when he bought it, in order to keep a junkyard there, it has to be transferred over into his name, doesn't it? It's been grandfathered in as a junkyard for years.
How long have you lived over there?
Where I'm at now, be 25 years Easter week.
Has it been there since then?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
But
been there since I was-
though, it was fenced
It was
all
taken
the
care
way
of?
through. The whole one side from the edge of the
It's
building
fallen,
is
yeah.
missing the,
You
and
can't
half,
keep the
3/4
fence
of the
up.
fence is down. There used to be a gate that had
Yeah.
fence up,
That
it's
was-
down, it's not there, they need to enclose it.
And that was there when I was a kid.
Well, and you know, what happens over time is new standards come out,
So the state's not-
like the aqua.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more towns are putting up fresh water, cannot dump anything in these
That's
areas.
what it says on the things.
Well, my question is, if the junkyard is pertaining or doing something to our water system,
Yeah, so they're like DCS though, you get them involved, they're not gonna go.
can the town
Look into everything. Yeah.
We can get IDEM involved.
do away with the junkyard ordeal? That's what I was looking, that's what I'm looking at.
If it is sitting in that area and IDM deems it, that it is a hazard,
I don't know.
they will have them clean it
Yeah,
up.
I've just always been told it was grandfathered
and
in.
then you could also, I mean, within that same radius, you got cars parked in people's yard in the trees.
Close it or get rid of it.
They're within the 1 mile radius.
He
Go
tried,
after them
Fair
too.
with your board.
he tried to keep it clean, I think, but his fence just keeps falling.
Yeah, the fence, and then the
You have a
previous
hard time
owner
with
took
his
the gate
fence.
down when they were crushing cars and it never went up. So if he could get it fully enclosed and pass the
They
IDM,
went in
it's
there
no big
this
deal because he's
summer,
not
somebody
active. I mean,
did, mowed it all down and had it looking decent.
That was
You'll
an
like
ordinance
this.
violation.
That's because it would receive ordinance violations
I don't
and you
know,
needed
but
to
they
correct it.
done-
I know you don't, that's why I'm trying to help
Cleaned
you.
it up. and
If
it
I
was
sat
fine.
here and told you the list of everybody that he's written ordinances for, we'll have another meeting.
The poor man just had, right now, he has trouble with his fence.
No, well, what if we did an oil, we did a soil sample?
Yeah, I don't know.
Place has been there since the
The town ought to just buy it off of him and forget about it.
Why don't you?
I did, I tried buying it.
For how much, did you offer him good
I
money?
offered him 10 grand for it one day. No, I'll take 30. I said,
30?
"Oh, 30, that's what
You
he
take 30 to,
offered him 10.
Clean it
I told him
up.
I'd go to the bank and get him $10,000.
Well, you give me 10, I'll go think I'll get 10, and I'll go back for 20.
I offered him 10,000 for it, and he wouldn't sell it, he wanted 30.
I think
Now-
the best thing is getting with IDM, and we have a good relationship with IDM.
Because the whole barn, whatever you gonna call it, it's got cement floor, there's cement outside of that. It'd make a nice decent lot. I told him, I said, all I do is be clean it up. Get rid of the fence and have just that much more to mow.
Well, you buy it, and I'll rent the building from you.
But he wanted 30, that's what he told me.
What's next?
Now, the only thing I've got, one last thing. The town keeps dropping stuff off up there in front of the old
The barn?
pole barn behind me back there, yeah. Teddy brought a big old metal yard rollers from someplace, dumped it off up there the other day.
Where do you want him to put it?
Well, I don't know, sweetheart, that's what I'm
That
saying.
that barn up there is full.
That's what I'm asking.
It's full.
Well, that's not, which one, this one over here?
Well,
Right by you.
we still gotta get some of the equipment out of the garage.
You still got the big round metal gas tank out there sitting, you got
Yeah,
still got
we're-
all that water stuff out there sitting.
We're still trying to get somebody to get the gas tank. He was supposed to pick it up. They still haven't contacted us back. We've been working on it. A lot of that is
Does,
scrap, and a lot of it we have to go through it. And
What's her name up there at Cambridge, he takes all that metal stuff, don't he?
I don't know about
A
Cambridge.
lot of people, the junkyard picture. A lot of times you can take metal stuff up there in front of his gates and just drop it
He
off
took
right
the
there in
snow
front
plow
of
that
the
we
gates.
had. He came down and got it.
Well, that's also
So
scrap,
I'll give it to them.
and we still have to go through all we can actually scrap and get money back for the town. And that's the big thing with all of them, like the old the water meter lids, all that stuff. We're collecting that all up so we can scrap it all in at one time.
Along with brass.
Yeah, and we were talking about that with him a couple weeks ago, because we started stripping apart all the old meters that we pulled out so we can get the valuable metals out of them and scrap them also.
Meters, they just got
Yeah.
that
So
stuff.
if you just go ahead and give us another donation, we'll
There we go.
build a bigger barn
You gotta fill out paperwork for a grant.
for a bigger
That's
barn
called-
to
you
get
get
your
it from me,
corner
it's
cleaned
grant
up.
money.
So can we have that corner lot?
Huh?
Can we have your corner lot?
No, I mow that and take care of that.
I got
Now, which
mowers
corner lot are you talking about?
over there by the pole barn.
I own all of it, but where the junkyard's at,
Okay, so I need that corner
Whole
by the
barn.
pole barn. Pole barn.
no, you can't.
To build another
Can't
pole
pile it
barn.
over on me, I mow that,
Property's got a pole barn on it.
I mow it. And I tried buying a junkyard so I'd have more to mow, and anyway, that's all I've got, thank you.
Okay,
Thanks,
well, are there any reports from council at this time that need to be discussed? I'm thinking no. Any unfinished business we haven't?
The only unfinished business I have in all of this right here is I'm still waiting on the employee handbooks, and I am still waiting on the 3 or 4 left ordinances to be updated from y'all.
Which ones?
The junk, what were they?
I didn't know I had homework.
It's in your book now. I gave that to you back in February.
Well, it's past due.
Hey now.
But Jeanette has them bundled so she can tell you which ones.
Radio lights turn on.
That's done. Sorry, apparently we're scanning the radio.
No, I don't want to listen to everybody. Then I would have to listen to you.
Too much information.
Amy, give me a post-it note with the ones, please. And I'll take my homework home. So I'll take it to work tomorrow.
You buy my tax dollars pay for it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing.
Don't you guys need to start?
Jeanette, I'm waiting on you, darling.
Well, I'm finding it in my stack here.
Okay.
That's all that works. Shouldn't make us pay by the hour.
So I just had them the other day. 'Cause we just went over this. Oops.
You know that one of these junk cars, one of them was the
Okay, so
trailers
the employee handbook,
All the square footage in mobile homes.
and age.
weed and vegetation, Animals,
Give me the animal one.
Animals should be done unless we're gonna change the, ordinance back to no chickens.
Thought we did that.
When
Change it
did
to
we
the
do that?
4-H rule.
No, we cut it out, cause they,
Oh, okay, sorry.
remember we
They
voted
still
on
have
that?
roosters and it was against the 4-H rule.
Yeah, we voted on that and they.
So we need to
Throughout
write
the
them an
chickens.
ordinance violation for
Yeah,
the
we
animals.
don't, no
So,
more chickens.
so the 4-H rule is not gonna be a part of our
no,
ordinance?
I think it is still.
I thought it was.
I thought we voted
It
it out.
just didn't, see,
I don't,
It's, you just
I
signed it.
missed
No, you weren't here, Cedric.
Oh.
It's signed and in the book.
Well, I'm talking about that, but I thought here like maybe 3-4 meetings ago, when we found out they had roosters.
Fortunately, the roosters are still in the county. Cause I've tried.
I don't think I worked that out.
So there are allowed to be chickens at your 4-H?
We said.
If
I
they
would
have
think so,
proof.
If they have
Yeah.
Purdue proof.
Yeah.
And they did give
I
us,
thought it was no root, I thought it was no
Didn't we set a
roosters.
limit on it too, though?
It was
chickens
12
were,
roosters.
if you were
No
4-H
I thought it
chickens,
was 12 with no roosters.
roosters.
roosters were
12 with no
non-existent
roosters.
in the city
No roaming.
limits, cause that's all we can control.
No roaming.
The problem is, if we pulled up the GIS map and where he has the chickens supposedly contained is in the county.
Right, and it has, and if they have it in town, then they have to have, documentation from the Purdue Extension Office to show that proof.
Which they did that.
Yeah, they did that.
They
Right.
did that.
So we have RV trailer, tiny homes and parking and storage. We have the employee handbook, weeds and vegetation, and animals.
Weeds and vegetation, animals, employee handbook, trailers, what else?
And that was, weeds and vegetation is one,
Uh-huh.
the handbook, and then animals, and then, like the RV trailers, tiny homes, parking and storage was another.
So just 3?
3 plus the employee handbook.
Okay, see you next month. Cause I've been waiting on this stuff to get updated and so I can move on to the other ones since February.
Well, I have highlighting, mine's been highlighted to discuss. When I get homework, I do it. Well, like,
No, you
Why is it done?
You backed yourself into that corner.
I'm just curious, what's that interest rate at again?
Yeah. She's paying half the payment.
So that's all I had was that stuff.
Okay, do I have a motion that we adjourn?
Oh, did we talk about-
You wanna talk about this?
No, I don't.
Anybody make a motion?
Yes,
Who did?
I did. I think so.
Cedric, second. Somebody make a second. I'll second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Adjourn.